I think Tom Brady just had his Donovan McNabb moment. What's up? Fred Richani, TSC, your home for NFL news updates, interviews, and everything in between. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Wow. I did not expect that on Thursday Night Football. I'm watching the game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tampa Bay against the Chicago Bears, the Bears. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe the Bears will play it close for the first half, and then, the Bucs will go on to win this game with relative ease. But holy crap, I was wrong. Now, in the first quarter, at the end of the first quarter, it was 10-0. Then the Bears outscored Tampa Bay 14-3 in the second quarter. And then from that point forward, the Bears scored and scored again, and they beat the Buccaneers 20-19. 20-19. And the Buccaneers fall to 3-2. The Bears go to 4-1 with Nick freaking Foles. You know, the guy that was written off again in Jacksonville. So here's some quick stats here. Nick Foles, 30 for 42, 243 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, got sacked 3 times, a quarterback rating of 83.7, not that great. Tom Brady on the other side, 25 for 41, 253 yards, a touchdown, and he also took 3 sacks. He was definitely pressured quite a bit. His quarterback rating was 86.7. Ronald Jones, though, had a really good game, although down the stretch he did get shut down, but 17 carries, 106 yards. Tom Brady also on the board for 3 carries and 0 yards. Meanwhile, the Chicago Bears only had 35 yards total in rushing. So you look at these stats here, right? 253 receiving yards by the Bucs. I believe it was 8 different receivers that Tom Brady connected with. It might have been 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 receivers overall. And then the Bears had 243 yards. So 253 receiving yards for the Bucs, 243 for the Bears. But, I mean, the rushing attack was awesome for the Bucs. And I keep wanting to call them the Patriots because I'm still not used to Tom Brady being on the team. And Bucs looked good for a little while, man. But 2 fumbles, including 1 lost by Keyshawn Vaughn. Carlton Davis played a hell of a game, had an interception. But there was a Fugazi pass interference call on him. There was a roughing the passer penalty as well that was ridiculous against the Bucs. So the refereeing in this game was not great. That being said, this game was close. This game was hotly contested. Both defenses, I thought, played very well. Vita Vea, unfortunately, got injured at the end of the game, which is a loss the Bucs do not want to have because he is one hell of a young stud. They just lost O.J. Howard. Chris Godwin's been banged up. Mike Evans has been banged up. Scotty Miller's been banged up. I mean, look, every NFL team's banged up. Nobody's going to cry for the Bucs, but still unfortunate to see. That's the one sad thing. I mean, there's a lot of sad things about the pandemic, but in terms of pandemic football, that's one of the realities. And I will never complain about the preseason again because clearly a lot of these guys needed it just for conditioning and to get warmed up and everything. So, yeah, and at the end of the game, the Bucs had a chance to win, and Tom Brady missed a number of throws. And after 4th down, he raised his hand. And he did like the 4. I think he did like the 3 and then he did the 4. And it looked to me and to the rest of America and the world watching that he had forgotten that was not 3rd down, that was 4th down. So that led to, the Bucs losing. That's not to say Tom Brady didn't try his damnedest to make what he thought was a 3rd down conversion or could have been a 3rd down conversion. But, man, some throws didn't look that great. Admittedly, the defenses played awesome. I thought the defenses played very well on both sides. So I don't want to hate too much on that. Really, the Bears are a tough-ass team, man. And if Nick Foles can play decent or good or slightly above Trubisky level more often than not, and if they can actually continue to have a kicker that makes his field goals, who knows where this team can go. Do I like him against Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady in a playoff situation? No. But when Nick Foles is in the playoffs and when he comes off the bench as a backup, anything can happen, although technically he is the starter. So who knows? Who knows? Your Nick Foles has had the weirdest NFL career of all time, I think. Well, one of the weirdest. So once again, Nick Foles beats Tom Brady in primetime. This time not the Super Bowl, but on Thursday Night Football. The Buccaneers fall to 3-2, and I honestly thought that the Bucs would win this pretty easily, so that surprised me quite a bit. But hey, at the moment, they're still at the top of the NFC South, although that could change with a Saints win. And next up for them, I mean, it doesn't get any easier for the Bucs. They got the Packers next. After that, they have. After that, they actually have some winnable games. Although I thought this was a winnable game on paper, so what the hell do I know? After the Packers, they got the Raiders, the Giants, and then the Saints again. So they could very well go 2-2 in that stretch, and who knows what'll happen? I mean, there's so much chaos going on. I'll go through the Chicago Bears schedule real quick, and then we'll talk about what's going on with the NFL because there's some crazy stuff if you haven't been following. So. Bears are 4-1. They play the deceivingly tough Panthers the following week, followed by the Rams, followed by the Saints, followed by the Titans if they haven't excommunicated their dumbasses out of the league, followed by the Vikings, followed by the Packers, followed by the Lions, who, look, even if the Lions are a losing team this year and we don't know where they're going to end up, I mean, it's a division rival. So a very tough schedule on the onset for the Bears coming up compared to the Bucs. But again, this NFL season is so crazy because other than the Chiefs, I mean, for every other team, it looks like it's a toss-up. It really is. I mean, even with Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But again, season's still young. Remember, there's expanded playoffs. But yeah, now as for the NFL, if you don't know, the NFL confirmed that some games actually had to be rescheduled. So here are the Week 5 changes. The Denver Broncos and New England Patriots game will be played on Monday, October 12th. That's this Monday. And the Buffalo Bills at Tennessee Titans game will be played Tuesday, October 13th. The NFL says these were made to ensure safety because there were multiple positives, particularly with the Titans. Here's what I don't get. Why are they having the Bills play on Tuesday? Why not just punish the Titans? Reportedly, the Titans had up to 15 players work out the day after positive tests were uncovered. And reportedly, allegedly, they weren't enforcing the mask mandate that the NFL wants. So you're going to throw the Bills' schedule out of whack and the Steelers' schedule out of whack because you were allegedly, reportedly, dumbasses and didn't do what you were supposed to do when pretty much every other NFL team did. I think the NFL should force them to forfeit at least one of those games. I guess they're not going to forfeit the Bills game because they're, as of right now, playing. Maybe they'll forfeit the Steelers game. I think they should. I think they should have draft picks taken away and forfeit both games. That would be me. But hey, this is Roger Goodell we're talking about, and the Titans aren't the Patriots, so he's not going to overpunish them. I mean, this is way worse than Deflategate and all that other crap the Patriots have been allegedly caught doing. But it is what it is. Folks, I'm going to get on out of here. Stay tuned because over the next morning or so, we're going to be having post-game coverage of the Bucs. So we'll hear from Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, and everybody else involved on the Buccaneers side of things for the weekly Buccaneers post-game. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already because we cover a number of NFL press conferences. I just did an interview with Chicago Bears legendary quarterback Jim McMahon, who still to this day, 35 years later, is the best quarterback in Bears history. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, everybody, as always, enjoy the games. And Tom, hey, man, look, Donovan McNabb didn't know what a tie was, and you didn't know it was fourth down. Happens to the best of us.